Titled Hope in a Prison of Despair, this work of art leads us into contemplation of the places in our lives that seem inescapable. The chains, the pains, the troubles that prevent us from being free. And into our prisons steps a holy figure with a lamp to fill the space with light. Welcome to another episode of Art and Prayer. I am Rob McPherson. I chose Evelyn De Morgan's painting this week because I've been going through a period of physical pain, and I know that I am not alone in feeling that pain can be confining, limiting, a bit like a prison that you wonder if you're ever going to get out of it. De Morgan's work reminds me that there is hope, there is light. Now, I do not know what you are going through, but I suspect that either, one, you have something that you are feeling trapped by, or two, you know someone who is feeling that way. And hope is a desperately needed and welcomed guest in that prison cell. Today I invite you to come to God with these things and listen as God brings you words of hope and comfort. Let's begin by taking a couple of deep breaths. My physical therapists would be reminding me to engage my core as I do so that those breaths are as deep as possible. Then allow your mind to settle. Invite God to be present and keep breathing. Relax your body wherever you feel tension, release it, and keep breathing deep. Listen now as we center ourselves in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 8 through 10. We want you to know, sisters and brothers, about the hardships we suffered in the province of Asia. We underwent severe stress, well beyond our ability to cope, to the point of despairing of life itself. In our hearts we felt we were doomed, which taught us not to rely on ourselves but on God, who raises the dead to life. God rescued us from so great a peril as death, and we will continue to be rescued by God, on whom we have set our hope. What word or phrase stood out to you as you listened? Let us look at the painting as a whole. What thoughts or emotions come to you? Notice the details of the room. Look more closely at the bent-over woman. Examine the light bearer. Allow God to speak to the part of you that is the bent woman. What words of hope and healing does God share? now allow God to speak to the part of you that is the light bearer for others. What words of encouragement and instruction does God have for you? Which seems more important to you today? God's message to you as the bent woman, or God's message to you as the light bearer? Or do you need to hold on to both? What more does God have to say to you? Ponder all these things in your heart for one more minute. invite you to finish up your time of contemplation. My reflection invited me to consider what hope might look like and what healing might mean, whether the pain is cured or not. I was reminded of Cynthia Bourgeault's book, Mystical Hope, that mystical hope is not tied to a good outcome, to the future. It lives a life of its own, seemingly without reference to external circumstances and conditions. It is a quality of aliveness. When our innermost being is attuned to this pulse, it will send us forth in hope, regardless of the physical circumstances of our lives. In other words, for me, hope is the living presence of God within me, no matter what is going on around me. That is the light in the prison, a presence whose home is in my innermost being. I can turn to that light bearer anytime and be comforted. This helped me. I hope your contemplation and your time with God helped you or encouraged you to be a light bearer. Perhaps you know someone else that needs the light of hope today. If so, share this with them. Simply liking the video will make sure more people see it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Until next week, be blessed.